So we got about 30 minutes. You know what I mean? So let's
Yeah,
get
yeah,
into
yeah.
it. Of course, we interviewed before. I think one time or a couple of times. But anyways, when before we was off KTSU and now we're back, right? At that time, you were promoting the Upward Spiral record.
Yes, yes. Yep.
Great project, by the way. But
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
first of all, for the folks who don't know Blakkamoore, give us a backstory. We know you from Georgetown, Guyana. You know what I mean, and then
Yes.
moved to Brooklyn. But give us a backstory on Blakkamoore and how you got into the music. And my favorite question: what made you really say, you know what, this music thing, I'm gonna do this. This is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Well, first of all, greetings, Super Neil. Greetings to my Belgian Uncle L.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
respect. Thank you for having me on the program, man. It's been a minute, man. It's a long time I ain't sight up Neil. The last time I sight Neil, I was about to fly to California.
Yeah. It's been a couple years now,
Yeah.
man. Time go by fast.
Yeah, man, for real. But everything is everything, man. I am Jadan Blackamore, now just known as Blackamore, hailing from Georgetown, Guyana, a place called Camberville in Georgetown, Guyana.
Camberville.
Yeah, man,
Nice.
forwarding from Camberville, moving to New York City, coming across the border from North America to South America, honing my skills, had my early educational life. I was in Brooklyn, New York, honing my musical skills in New York, and then eventually moving out to Houston, where that's where I met Super
Yeah,
Neil.
yeah, for real.
Yeah, but been honing my skills in the music. Started off in the dancehall scene, the early 80s and 90s dancehall circuit, listening to my cassette tapes and listening to King Jammy's Stereo One, Stereograph, Metro Media
Right.
Sound, listening to all these sounds and, realizing that I had an affinity to this music, coming from Guyana, listening to Calypso and Mento and reggae. And then now coming to the States and getting introduced to this amazing culture of sound system culture, and then just gravitating to the music with my little homies at the time. We were gravitating to the music, we were playing on local sounds, and just like sound system like Minimart sound, Mega Force sound, Eruption high power, like these were some local Brooklyn, New York City sound
Right.
systems.
So
And I
when
honed
you
my
say sorry, when you say playing on sound, you was actually a selector or just going wherever those
no
sounds
I
are and
no I was
performing.
just yeah I was just waiting for my chance to hold a mic, you know
Yeah.
what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Waiting for my chance to get a little blight to sing off my verses and my
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Nice.
saying?
And when
Yeah.
you came, how old were you when you came from Guyana to the U.S. to Brooklyn?
Oh, very young. I was of the age of between 7 and 8 years old.
Okay, so no music in Guyana. Your music career pretty much started in Brooklyn.
In New York City. My early experiences with music was from my elders, my auntie, my uncles, my grandmother. And my
Right.
grandmother gave piano lessons to the local youth of the community of Camberville. They
Right.
would come by and get piano lessons, and I would be overhearing all this stuff. My uncle playing little steel pan. My uncle Brian was in the army and was in the GDF, and then I had a steel band unit
Mm-hmm.
with the soldiers them, and my uncle was one of them
Nice.
steel pan players. My auntie playing piano too and singing in the choir. So that my early experience with music was through gospel music, church, going to church and singing and things like that. But then of course music, it started to really inspire me once I got a hold of roots and culture. Like once my father started playing me like like Steel Pulse and Bob Marley and Peter Tosh and Burning Spear and all these music, I started really gravitating to culture music, reggae music, one
Right.
drop, and of course, singing on the sounds, we were started writing up our own little tunes too and having our own rhymes. And me and my homies had our little studio building up. We buy a little microphone, I buy a little drum set. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we
Right.
started just building up our vibes, and one thing led to another. Before long, I found myself on some recordings and stuff. We started like voicing and building our own rhythms, and you know what I mean? And it progressed from there to really start taking music serious. And that was around the age of, that was around my early junior high
Junior
school
high,
days.
about 14, 15, somewhere around there.
14, 15, yeah, man. Like really with them young hustlers in the neighborhood who was trying to just build up sounds, and then we just go and we try hitch on with them man there and sing, get on there and sing too, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, well, help me with something, right? Well, help us with something. So make that picture a little bit clearer for me, right? The moment when you first decided, you know what, I want to, because you use more of a dancehall style vibe back then before the culture really took over. But take me to the moment, like what happened the first time you say, boy, I go hold this mic and do something. You know, or you just outside hanging out with, in school and like, you know what I mean? The first time where you pick up a mic and started holding some lyrics. Were you writing lyrics like secretly?
Yeah,
And then, go ahead.
My pops had a Fisher sound system in the house.
The Fisher sound system, Jenny.
Yes, I know.
Burp.
Yeah, with full surround sound.
Right.
With mixing capacity and mixing board and all that, so you could make. He had 2 Technics turntable.
Right.
So I started mixing and doing that. That was it, right in the house.
Okay.
To the point where after a while, me and my brethren them get fed up and we just do some bus out of school and just run and come over to my house. We go and we patty and cocoa bread and 2 spliff and some drink, and we come and we start turn on the sound and play when mommy and daddy gone to work.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I start holding the microphone more hard there. That's before even going on local sound system.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that now led to us brave enough now to say, well then, let's just get on these. Let's go to the mini mart dance and see if Screechy Dan or Sleepy Wonder or Bobo General or one of them, man, they're going to give us a chance to sing on the sound.
Yeah, man. Yeah, boy. You call some names there, Screechy Dan, Sleepy Wonder. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, cause them man, those were the local talent that was like them man. It was older than us,
right?
And it was on in the parties. I couldn't even go to no big dance like that.
Right.
Really, I like sneak out and really hang out. When I come back home, my mother didn't want to know where you coming from so late and why you smelling like that and because we trying to just sneak out and do this now after building up our little courage now.
Right.
Our vibes brewing now, and we confident enough now to say, let me go and see if we could get on this thing tonight. And eventually, in fact, Screechy Dan, that I'm a general that because Screechy Dan actually was one of the artists that actually passed me the microphone in a mini mart session over in the 90s in Rutland on Rutland Road. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, you see Screechy, you could ask him. Screechy would tell you, say, yeah, man, I probably did do that because the youth them always like forward and come forward to try see if they can hold a little vibes and get her forward. You know what I mean? So he would tell you that too. Screechy done,
How many times? How many times you had to go on? How many times you go and stand up there and say hi?
One time and we try. We didn't get a chance because certain man they're ahead of we, and so
right.
we try. Right, I would have to say about maybe about 7-8 times we pop up and see if we can get a blind.
Yeah.
One night get a blind now and Screechy hand me the mic now and I start to sing, but throughout like I couldn't remember like my whole verse and things, so like I start fade away with what I was supposed to say, and I start like freestyling now, and then I start tapping back into some old things that I remember from listening to them sounds, and then man they start realize yo, you really know this thing, cause we was listening and collecting our cassettes at that time, and like listening to these men like Papa San and Brigadier Jerry and enough of these men, them Tonto Irie and them man, they like like real veteran
foundation,
real foundation, man. So that was already like I was already locking them man's style in my mind. I was holding a little vibes and locking, so I start freestyling now. And the first thing come to my mind is, just some style. I say, I tell you, we are rock up in the dance. Say, rock up in the dance. Just start saying some things some phrases that I remember.
Yeah, and style.
The pattern that I remember. And then man start saying, oh, shit, like the youth. But really, I forgot my lyrics. And I just started throwing it out.
I like that story, DJ.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that my early days was really like just honing skills, trying to build up our own little sound, have our own little vibes, and create our own little space within the neighborhood at that time. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? But
And
yeah, no one thing led to another. Next thing I ended up, because some of the youths I was rolling with was connected. Like one of my brethren named Rigo Chupa, and Rigo's uncle was Mikey Dread. The
Mm.
control.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Campbell himself. Yeah, Kareem Campbell, my one of my good brethren, and he was his father now was the one like coaching us, and Rigo Trooper father now was telling us, yeah, man, you have to get at drums and start playing music, learn little piano and learn the progressions and really build up this thing properly. And he
right.
was like our first coach that led us like in the direction of pointing us in the direction of a studio, and you know what I mean? Because his father cousin now is the dread at the control.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
So we
yeah.
have a link to certain things there now, and next thing you know, I end up in a studio proper. The first studio I recorded in was Mr. Lloyd Cross, a brethren named Lloyd Cross studio
In
in
Brooklyn?
in Flatbush, down Flatbush side, like Cortell you back in them. I don't know if you live in New York, right, Neil?
No, I just visited New York. I've been on Flatbush, but I couldn't tell you where no street is. I just know in my life I've been on Flatbush Street. That's all I
You've
know.
been off.
Yeah.
Well, right down in them region now, Lloyd Cross Studio, Lloyd Cross Studio, and my boy father now bring us over to the studio now and was like, yo, this, them man they said they want to do music, so give them a little blind and teach them, and you know what I mean. We
Right.
start hanging out in the studio and meeting artists, meet Johnny
Feeling good.
Osborne, huh?
Feeling good.
Feeling good. We in the studio now. We in a real settings now. You know what I mean? Like we out of our little room,
Right.
out of my father little house now, but we little Fisher amp and so on. Now we in the real studio,
Yeah.
Mhm.
real vibes, and the man start taking a liking to our style. I recorded and got they send us some rhythms, and we start record on voice, and like Cross start show us the ropes. So
Right.
we really got some guidance from some man that was connected to the reggae music scene in Jamaica and in New York,
And in New York, yeah.
So I had my that was our classroom.
Nice. So you mentioned
Nice.
Johnny Osborne. Who was some of the other artists wrote to the studio that you was able to, draw from, build a relationship with, and draw from?
Artists like we had artists like a virgin that always used to be by this a virgin named Ragamuffin CB. That's when we used to hang out at Don One studio, Ragamuffin CB. You have man like
Because Johnny Osborne was pretty big back then.
Yeah, Johnny Osborne's still big. Johnny Osborne is one of the biggest dubplate artists too. That like
Dubplate side, yeah.
he has songs
Mhm.
that translated so easily into dubplate fashion. So he was like one of my. He actually taught me how to properly do dubplates
Nice.
in the studio. But yeah, Johnny was one of them, man. Mr. Osborne, and then who else used to be in the studio with us? Besides Lloyd Cross, Kareem Campbell father, Mr. Campbell used to be in the studio with us. But I really remember being in the studio more with Johnny, and Johnny recording dubs and me watching him do
Right.
50 dubs
Mhm.
studio one time, chopping through dubs all day with Lion Dub, a brethren named Lion Dub International. We released some records together. And yeah, that was like my classroom, brethren.
Nice.
That's classroom. That's actually sitting and watching veterans
Yeah,
do
yeah.
the thing. Johnny's been in this thing from a youth in Jamaica, and to be around these men was another youth I used to buck up to. We buck up Major Mackerel in the studio.
Mhm.
Yeah, we buck up my like Major Mackerel. Yeah, Mackerel used to forward to the studio. Enough artists. Like as you asked me now, it's gonna make me reflect, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was enough artists used to
What
forward.
was the first song you recorded? You remember? Like you actually recorded. I know
God.
that's a while back.
Ooh, that's a good one. Oh yeah. They had a tune that these men was telling me, yo, you have to put this one down. Say you remind me of this artist and that. But
Uh-huh.
it's a song called "Pick from the Best." pick from the best. Well, take a pick from the best and throw away the rest. Boy, dominance is the key to passing any test. Whoa, 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 whoa. So take your pick from the best. The man and say, yo, you know, say your voice so, yo, make we record one. That was like one of like a few that me and my crew that time, you know, Rigo Chupa, Jati, you know, that was my little crew, you know. Rigo Chupa Pops bring us to the studio and we start working, and I had a few cuts that man them was like, yo, this man here really can't sing, you know. You know, so I'm really, you know, so if you keep doing this work, you know, and I was like, sometimes I would fall through the studio and just like pick up a drumsticks and start playing, and the man them say, you know, say you can't play a drum. Yo, you gonna be our rehearsal drummer.
Nice.
We have you as the rehearsal drummer, just forward to the studio whenever, and if the real drummer for the bands don't forward to you, just
Hold it down.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Start play two drums now. Realize like, yo, whoa, I have a natural knack for the drums. I play every percussion instrument known to man,
Wow.
from the doon,
Yeah,
the tar
yeah.
drum, to the djembe, to the congas, to the ketty drum, to an actual trap drum set. All that from just being in the studio with these elders and these men, like just being around the vibes, yo. You know what I mean?
Nice,
Nice,
nice.
nice.
All right, Uncle L, you can take over from here, brother.
Okay, okay.
Wow.
Well, well, good to see you. Good to talk to you. I mean, this has been really nice to just talk to you and kind of hear the advice. One thing you talk about the education being in the sound system and in those recording studios, but for me, like the graduation for you, the time when you walk across the stage and you really get into the full limelight was when I first heard you on that Major Lazer album, the song called Cash Flow.
Yeah.
So can you talk about that experience, like how you got to link with Major Lazer, how you got to be on that album? Because that's like a big album when you
Oh,
talk about like breach or reggae music, and
it was
you
beautiful.
being on there with a tune that was so wicked. I mean, when I heard that sound, like this is my time, and then
They never wanna see us in the
Bop,
high,
bop.
but we shine bright like the sunshine. Them can't take it. This is my time. Well, let me tell you about the Garrison life. Hard knocks cut you like a sharp knife.
Bop, bop.
Salvation at the same time. So all them a come go on like them not like it. When we
when we
rise.
rise, and then the beat comes in,
Yeah,
that
that's one of my favorite tunes there.
that just floored me. So yeah,
Yeah.
man, talk about like how that link came true, how that song came about, like what was in your mind when you were creating those lyrics, and talk about that.
Yeah, well, I had the great honor of meeting these brethren early in the game. Like I met it was a brethren named Dave, DJ Gravy, from Rice and Peas. We had a little vibes going on in the city in New York in the 90s, late like early 2000s and things, like we was bubbling this little vibes, and a lot of different people used to come through to the sessions that these DJ Gravy used to be having, Rice and Peas and thing like this whole, it was like a brand, like just music where people could, roll up to this spot in the city and they, the vibes is open, dancers come through, I tell the people cooking little ital out front and selling little vibes, and you could burn up in there. And one day, one evening, one night, this brethren, Dave introduced me to this brethren named Diplo. He kept talking to me about Diplo. This brethren named Diplo. He's like, he goes to different countries and he just be like vibing out, He's just plays music for the people. He's producing some dope shit. You should get with this brethren, man. And eventually we linked up. Wes came to the studio one time to check us in Williamsburg, and Dave introduced me to him there. And this is prior to the Major Lazer, big Lazer success and everything blew
Right.
up. So I was just vibing with them, man, and he was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna throw you some rhythms. He was playing, listening to some instrumentals, spinning music. And Dave had a nicer sound system in his house, so we just was playing tunes. And eventually they sent me this rhythm one. Dave was like, yo, you should really sing on this rhythm, listen to this and see if you could vibe with it. And I was listening to rhythm and I was like, no, man, that's a nice little like a crossover kind of one drop vibes. I was like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Eventually, I wasn't even in the studio with the man and them. I just shot my vocals and chopped my vocals differently in the studio and sent it to them, and they really liked the vibes. They were like, yo, the song is Irie, yo. This is gonna be on this album called Major Lazer. Guns don't kill people. Guns don't kill people. Lasers do. And they told you, building on the concept wasn't officially sealed and locked in yet. But the brethren them loved the music, and they loved it so much that they kept it on the project, and it became, it was actually released as a single. Like we put it out as a single, but it was from the accolades from this album, Guns Don't Kill Lasers Do. Then now finally started hitting, these brethren started going around and making, strides in the music business. Like from that point on, I started hearing more about the brethren and seeing them more on different platforms. And this Major Lazer concept started to become something really outside of all of our expectation,
Wow.
Yeah.
Before we continue, and Uncle, before your next question, I want to play like a little piece of this cash flow, if y'all don't mind. Now, remember, if you can't hear it clearly, it'll be clearly over here. But I just wow.
Oh, you mean
this
Supa?
Is my time. They never wanna see us in the high life, but we shine bright like the sun shine. Them can't take it. This is my life. But let me tell you about the garrison life, where hard knocks cut you like a sharp knife. Hunger and starvation at the same time. So all them a go on like say them not like it when we rise.
Yeah, I just wanted that little piece, but all right, go ahead. Sorry for the interruption, Dana. Go ahead.
I was sounding like a dub plate there.
Yeah, boy. Matter of fact, I might need to get that from you.
Yeah, nah, I have to do a special for you, bro.
Yeah, Uncle. Don't forget Uncle.
Yeah, I would love that. That's classic.
Man. We have to do that, man. We have to make that's something that should happen long time already.
Everything with time, man. All right, go ahead, Uncle. Sorry for my rude interruption, but I wanted to play that.
No man no rough, no man no tough, no man no better than no man. For every man in a Jamaica is just a simple man. And if you upper America use a simple man, you could have fire 16 or you fire M1. You go step a ninja finger, a step a Shabba hand, a step in a him head, and this number one them ball boom 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 out of the jana and first.
Oh man, so I mean you're right. I mean they kind of, their whole aura and the scene around Major Lazer kind of blew up around that, and then it seemed like that kind of put you in a different light too, and kind of helped you, because I see from then you started doing you did some other collaborations, like you had a big tune with it for the children with Kabaka Pyramid. I know you did some work with the Snoop Lion project and helping write, and particularly it seems like you do a lot of writing for people. Can you talk about that? Like, is it easy to write for others and make it kind of tap into somebody else's vibe, or is that a challenge for you?
I'm getting a little more used to it. My feet was just getting wet with that particular project, the Snoop Lion project. That was what got me really into that. I never thought of writing songs for other people necessarily outside of my circle of brethren, where we used to just share lyrics and say this one, don't say that part, say this right here, and outside of that, and I never really thought of like writing songs for other people until we got that opportunity, which I got the opportunity because I worked with Major Lazer on that first project, which led to a follow-up, because they did a follow-up to the Major Lazer project, which I ended up on that project as a writer too, where I wrote a song for Wyclef. I wrote Wyclef ended up singing it on the Major Lazer project.
Right.
A song called "Reach for the Stars," And Wyclef is a brilliant lyricist himself, but the opportunity was of such that it led to him singing the song, and I refrained from being on that second project. And that now was what led to Diplo and Major Lazer started to they blew up immensely between that time and the Snoop project, but they got the job, they got the work to, you know, work with Reincarnation, which is Snoop's album, and they brought me in on that.
Nice.
Because it's the vibes, like, you know, they felt like I would be a good, valuable part to the team of just working on that project. So, and I went down to Jamaica with a few of my producer brethren, them too, who were, you know, helping me to shape my sound too at that time. Andrew Moon Bain from Zion Kings, you know, so
nice.
And we all collaborated with that project and was down there, you know, chopping it up. So that's how things could progress, you know what I mean? So it you know, the first Major Lazer led to the second project where, you know, I did a little writing, and then, you know, then I ended up writing, you know, and recording a lot of stuff with the Reincarnated and Snoop and them, you know. So it's just a progression, but as of right now, writing for other artists has become more of something that I could see myself doing moving forward. It came. Actually, it wasn't that difficult because I was such a fan of Snoop, and such a fan of hearing his music all these years blowing up. You know, I kind of was able to tap into what he would. You know, we were able to tap in and work with him on a level, you know, to where, and he was very gracious and because he's a brilliant lyricist too. He really don't need, but he wanted to tap into reggae music. He wanted to do, because he's a big fan of Bob Marley and Peter Tosh and these guys too, you know, and Snoop listened to enough reggae music. So,
right.
And he understand the vibe, you know, he's a brilliant musician, so he could tap in, but he wanted to make something that would be like a real timeless project. So he didn't even want to really rap to what we were, the Snoop, what we was used to hearing. He didn't. He wanted to die
because he wanted to be Snoop Lion.
He wanted. You know, you didn't want to do the reggae thing for real. And he accomplished that. The album was nominated for a Grammy, and he had a host of other brilliant artists on it. Akon, Busta Rhymes. Some big artists on the project, and it was really it was a learning experience, a big learning curve for me with the business and learning how to operate really on that level of you know, stardom, superstar, is how things really work in that arena. So yeah, I might end up writing for some. I work with a lot of my colleagues and my people I rub close shoulders with, like we work together in the studio all the time, but I can take on some of that, more of that, maybe writing for other artists too, you know, as time goes on, because it's not that personal thing. I can just observe the artists, see what, you know, what they really want to say and how they, you know, what is the root of their subject, composition, subject matter, topic, or whatever they want to tap into, and then I could just be like, oh, this person would be able to do this because they got a vocal capacity to be able to do Ray and Ray. So it's something I would take on as time progress. You know, I would definitely do it. But that was the first time I actually got my feet wet with the you know, writing for other people. And what a great artist to work with. Somebody like Snoop Dogg, who was like brilliant and made all these big Grammy nominated records and things. So, you know what I mean? It was a huge experience, you know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah. So in terms of new music and what you've been doing, see, I mean, I keep looking and like, you're always coming out with new music. You have some music with Young Trip. Just talk about like what's the latest from Blakkamoore.
Okay, well, we have this project, like you said, man, Young Trip. We have an album called Full Spectrum. It's on the platform right now, and we just, like you're doing your homework. We released several singles out there already from the project. It's a kind of like a fusion, like a multi-genre kind of fusion project, because most people know me for, you know, behind my songs like with Zion Kings or Major Lazer, Snoop, you know, but there's so much more, you know, that for us to tap into. There's so much more vibes that we could release with this beautiful art form, you know. So we tapped in and came up with a project called Full Spectrum full spectrum, and it's out right now. It's on the platform. It's available on all platforms. We have a single called Number One. We have a single called Living It Up. We have a single called Build Bridges, and we've just been throwing them out there just to let people see the, you know, the variety of you know, creativity that we come in with here. But that's been the latest. I released a few singles too with some producers. That's out there as well. But there's some, stay tuned. There's some big things in the works coming, man. There's so many beautiful things that are about to take place, man. You know, we have collaborating with an artist from Jamaica right now that's tearing up the place, that's madding up the whole place.
Who is it? Which one?
Can you say the name?
From Jamaica to, for right now, I'll say his name. His name is Black Hero from Jamaica.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Actually, we have like 5 minutes of an interview with Black Hero. He was in the gym,
Okay.
and he came outside, and it just cut off, and we couldn't get him back. So we'll have to revisit that interview. We actually got. I have it in my computer. It's about.
Black Hero is vibes though.
Yeah.
Black Hero is vibes.
And we
I
play
like
his
that.
music. Yeah, specifically Uncle L. I got to give him credit. I mean, he be on the new music, like, and we've played a lot of Black Hero songs. So,
Wow. All right. So see it there. So you're familiar. You man, you're here to the streets, obviously.
oh, come on, bro, you already know, especially when it have to do with culture vibes. You know what I mean?
Vibes, man. How you mean? You have to know that. But yeah, so we have some treats, some special treats coming on very soon. Stay tuned to what he's doing, and because him and I tapped in, you know what I mean? We you know, he's my B fam, you know, my brother from another mother.
Yeah.
So we cooking with olive oil and thing like that. And
Y'all also look like you could be brothers. If I'm looking, you know, you look like you could be related. You and Young Hero.
yeah, we
Black
are soul,
Hero. I said Young Hero. I was thinking about Young Trip, but Black Hero.
yeah, we are soul brother, you know.
Yeah. Hey, Young Trip, man, because when I met Young Trip, he came down here with Bobby Hustle. That's what I was asking you earlier. I was trying to remember.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
right.
they came and did Reggae Fest. I think maybe possibly 3 years ago. And Young Trip was DJing. He did a couple of DJ sets, and then, you know, he was a DJ for Bobby Hustle.
That's great.
So when I got to know a little bit about him, the little bit I got to know, I realized he produced everything. Like, you do hip hop records, you do reggae records, you do some other stuff too. You know what I mean?
And he's a sound man too.
I didn't know he was a sound man. I didn't know that.
He had a sound system from Seattle. He hailed out of Seattle, Washington, and it's called Blesco Sound.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's where he's from. For some reason, I thought he was from California.
Yeah, well, he's definitely out here a lot. You know, he's in LA, but Blesco Sound, Ryan I, Triple Crown, who now known as Young Trip. But yeah, the man is sound man, party promoters, booking artists. He booked me years ago. We have a long relationship, you know, lengthy relationship, almost 2 decades worth of.
Oh wow! Because that was gonna be the next question. How the hookup come and you guys decide to kind of like be a team and put out that project? You know, like how did that conversation come about? But I didn't realize the relationship was from that far back. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. It was just a pre-pandemic, just a little before the quarantine really hit.
Right.
We were I had just released the year prior. I had released the album called Upward Spiral with Zion King.
Mm-hmm.
We were supposed to, you know, push that project hard, and we licensed it to a label overseas in France, and we were supposed to go back out and do some tour and some promotional shows and thing. But the momentum got kind of canceled due to the pandemic and the quarantine. But you know,
that was a hard album,
bro.
That
I was just about
album too.
That
Upward Spiral album,
man.
was a hard
Uncle L said
album.
it before me, right? Because I was going to say, hey man, y'all probably need to think about reworking that, man, because
it's still in the mix. It's still out there, and yes, the only reason we didn't, you know, force feed it down people's throat is because I just figured, you know what, it's out there already. It's gonna do what it's gonna do, and I want to express myself more. And so Trip and I on the phone, kicking it back and forth, like, yo, man, them cancel this and cancel that. What we gonna do? And he was like, yo, we should just get back in the stew, yo. Let's cook up some things and And then he sent me a couple of grips of some beat packs and thing, and I was like,
Right.
nah. There's gonna be a project. There's gonna be a whole project. Like you got some bangers here, and I got ridiculously inspired, like amazingly inspired to just write. And it's like we was tapping into the ancestors, was just talking in our ears, and we just bang 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 bang. I was going to the studio there in Houston. I had a little brethren, had a nice studio there in Kingwood, Houston, there, like not too far from where I was resting there, Neil.
Yeah, because he was out that side. Yeah.
And I would go by the studio there and just book out some time with my boy and laced up about 7-8 joints. Before you know it, we had like 25 songs recorded.
Wow.
And I was like, I still wanted to push Upward Spiral, and I still do. I still, tap back in and let people remember and remind people of that. And I sing it. I sing those songs are a good, hefty part of my set list, and a hefty part of performance material is Upward Spiral. But we wanted to just kind of vibes out and not let the quarantine vibes hold us and stifle us,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Doing some work, and the rest is history. Now is out there now. So we just had to. We were compelled, man. Say real artists have to just do the art. It's like you can't stop up your thing. If it's flowing, it's flowing. If it's not, it's not.
Right.
But it was flowing. So and right now, what we're looking into right now, the next level is to just create more traction, create some more momentum, and touch the road more often.
Yeah, because a Jordan Blakkamoore live performance, well, I guess you dropped the Jordan now, so a Blakkamoore live performance is a performance to behold, because the brother really we make you feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Neil, we dropped a show already too. We went and did we performed at an event.
Exactly.
Well, it was kind of like we just bombarded the place. It was a takeover.
Yeah. It was a takeover. It's kind of like what you said back in the day when you went to the sound system was like, yo, let me hold the mic. It's a type of vibe. Yeah, you know what I mean? But,
it was like Scott Wallace and Dottie Irie in Rockers,
Yeah,
Is
man.
that takeover? I changed the mood.
Right. Change the mood, and the mood did change.
Bro, we upgrade the mood.
Yeah. It's a true upgrade in the sense of the word.
Neil just said, "Move over, man. Give me this, man. Let me
Let me show you how it's done."
Inside of here, boy. No.
All right, brother. So if people want to get in touch with you and learn more about Blakkamoore, and you might have to spell it out for them. Where do they go to hear the music? You also have your own website, right?
Yes, Blakkamoore, Blakkamoore. I am that same name on all the platforms.
Okay.
Blakka, not CK. Blakkamoore. And log on to the Blakkamoore Music on IG, MUZIK, Blakkamoore Music, and Blakkamoore on Instagram, Blakkamoore on IG, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube, all the platform, and of course blakkamoore.com for the website.
Yeah, man.
And we upgrading. We doing. I'm upgrading slowly and just figuring out how I want to move this thing forward. So. For the people out there listening, checking into Caribbean Vibes, Uncle L and Super Neil, if you're hearing me right now, stay tuned, keep it locked. There's some fine tuning that we're doing, but the music will always be coming. But we're still learning how to navigate these new places that are available to us as artists right now. So what we're trying to do, me and the crew, is master these things. So you mightn't see me too much out there like that. Touch this and that, but keep it locked. You're gonna see a gradual progression in terms of my visibility on these platforms and how we end platforms. So just keep it locked. More music coming, lots of surprises. is a great time for creative people like us to keep these vibes going. I salute the item for reaching out to me and making this happen. The first time we tried to do it but we're
That was
there
my
now.
fault. Let's be real. It was my fault. I didn't make it back home in time.
You're big, Super Neil is out there being super, you know. Watch
Hey, man, you know, you have to handle some business sometime, brother.
You need Super Neil, you know.
Yeah, man. Hey, thank you for taking the time out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and of
man.
course,
Blessings.
we
Yeah, man.
family. We family. Always been. You know what I
Salute.
mean?
And then next time I forward to which might be very soon actually this year.
Come to the
'cause
station.
Yes, I gotta forward this soon. I have to come and see my girls. But yeah, I want to line up some vibes and see if we can come in studio there and sit with you in studio and play you the host of treats and treats.
Yes.
I use some more music. You let me know what if you're looking for a tune or something you want to play. I know you don't have a lot of the music already.
No,
Neil,
send everything. How about that? Yeah.
As far
Send it.
Tunes, I would like to get in the studio and do some ID, some station ID for the eye and a dub
Yes.
for the eye.
That's what we need.
Mm-hmm.
But give me a little time. We're working and soon forward, you know. But let's see what we could do for the new year, man. Let me see if we can hold them and bring these vibes to them live and direct in their face.
Yeah, and I'm also doing a Thursday night. We starting tonight actually. A Thursday night reggae night at 5 Central, my home venue that I spend at most of the time. You know what I mean? So if you can come through, then we can come in there and do a live set.
Yeah, what's the capacity?
The room that we're in is probably about 200 people. Not super big, but you know, I mean, enough to hold our vibes.
But enough for Super Neil.
Yeah, it's enough to hold our vibes. A good vibe. Matter of fact, if we have 75 people in that room, I mean, because it's just a chill Thursday reggae night in Houston. It's not a big venue. It has 5 different rooms, but you know, I mean, the biggest room probably hold about 200. Tonight we start in the small room because we expect about 50, 60 people. You know what I mean? And the small room is upstairs. And it's going to be some good energy. You know, it's cold as hell, though. It's like 26 down here right now, but Texas, you know, tomorrow it'll probably be like 80.
Right. Yeah, man. That's that Houston weather, man. How you mean?
You know it. You know it well. You spend enough time here to know it well.
Yeah, man. Let's see if we can forward and make our vibes happen. I would like to come and blast off on these people right in front of their face there, you know.
Most definitely, my brother.
But Neil, you could, you know, if I'm ever there, within the next 5 months or so, we just do a takeover like we did last time.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. All you have to do, you know me. Link, even if I had to come pick you up from the airport, self, let me know.
Yeah. Straight, and we just bombard them.
Most definitely. All right, my brother. Respect. You know what I mean? Not but love. One love. Great interview.
One. You know we have to reach number 1. Well, man possess something way bigger than the money, house, the gold, and the cars. Bigger than the songs we write, the lyrics and the bars. Looking at my face, you know I go see no battle scar. Now it's not the time to step up out, you want a war. Link your soldier, them a Jupiter, your shot at them a Mars. We stand up for myself, me no need entourage. Authenticity, me no wear no facade. Super Neil, step up, him fully large.
Brap.
Uncle Ellie, him fully large. Yeah, man.
Fully large. We taking that. We fully large. That
Yeah,
last
man.
part right there. Yeah.
Loving it.
Yeah, you know, we're going to play that. I'm going to edit that part right there and play it out on the station. Just that little vibe right there. A cappella style. No rhythm.
A cappella. What you mean? Just a clap.
Yeah, man. The vibe. Real vibe. Respect, my bro. Nothing but love. Blessings.
Respect. Thank you.
Thank